Hello, my name is Merrick Ollum, and welcome to day 28 of the 1660 Challenge. We're really closing in real rapidly on that 30-day mark, that halfway point. Hopefully I can be pretty reflective then. I don't know, I'm not a poet, I'm a film boy. Speaking of which, if you don't know what the 1660 Challenge is, essentially I'm going to be writing a film script every single day for the next, well, after this point, 32 or so days. So throughout the end of February, I'm going to be doing it. 60 days, 60 film scripts. It's a great time. But you're probably thinking to yourself, Merrick, this sounds really cool and it's a very great concept, you know, and you're really cool for having made it, and you're a genius and a savant, but I'm not a film boy. You know, you're a film boy. I'm not a film boy. I don't want to write scripts. That's lame. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to write scripts. I'm just doing it because I think that is what's going to benefit me the most. You know, you can do whatever you want. You can make 60 new art projects. That's great. You could write 60 new poems or 60 new short stories or anything. It doesn't even have to be art related. You could try 60 new types of candy, make 60 new types of ramen. I think I've talked about that one before. Try 60 new TV shows. Watch the pilot episode for 60 TV shows and absorb nothing, but it's fine. It's great. It's up to you. Whatever you think is going to benefit you the most, not me. You know, just do your thing, you know. And if you want, that's great. So with that out of the way, let's get into things. For day 28, what was our writing challenge? Was it a days from a hat thing? Was it a prompt from the hat? Was it a genre bender? You know, what was it? Was it a structural writing challenge? Who knows? Probably something crazy. Actually, truth be told, it was just a measly, lowly little within means writing prompt. But in all actuality, I don't think we've done one of those in a very, very long time where it's actually just been, you know, the writing prompt, the bear thing. Yeah, no. We haven't done that in quite a while. So it's a welcome change. It's a welcome change of pace. You know, you got to get back to those basics every once in a while, but remind you why you do things like that. Because if I'm adding these huge modifiers to them every single day, where it's like, it's got to be with within means writing prompt with no people, and is this genre bender, and is this no, that's lame. That takes all the fun out of it. You can't have it be too formulaic like that. Otherwise, where's that spark of ideas coming from? What am I tapping into the collective unconscious of all the other previous filmmakers who've wrote things in the past? You know, it doesn't give you time to do that if it's too formulaic. If it's too on rails, I'm gonna bails. I'm filming a video! Sorry about that distraction there. It's after I was rudely interrupted. But what was our actual story today? Well, it's called B1 Laundry, and it is about a laundromat owner who decides that he wants to get into the art of B-list filmmaking. He wants to get into those B movies, and I'm not talking about the Picture with Adam Sandler. I'm talking about low-budget films, those B-list films that don't get wide releases, because those are hilarious and they're good time. But he wants to get into them to make some extra money on the side. So he becomes a producer and he hires a film student. I know, very original, super original as a film student to be, you know, writing about film students. It's fine. It's okay. It's whatever. It doesn't matter. So yeah, he hires this film student to be his director, but there's a bit of a kerfuffle. You know, there's some strange things going on because it seems as though the producer is deliberately trying to sabotage this film. It seems like he wants it to be bad. And he's also spending all this money in really weird places. Like he bought 10 monitors to be watching the dailies rather on set, but won't spring for a new camera or sound equipment. It's very strange what's happening there. And so, you know, the director questions the producer about it, and he finds some interesting information. I don't want to spoil it all for you, just in case, you know, maybe I do want to make it at some point. But I think something interesting to note is, even though this clock's on around 7.3 minutes, which is great, it fits right smack dab in the middle of our time constraints. I think one of the issues with this is that I have an itchy nose. I have a very itchy nose, and also the fact that to me, this feels like the setup to like a movie, or it feels like a setup to the pilot of a TV show, which would be really cool. But also, it's not necessarily what we're going for here, because it doesn't have a beginning, middle, and end. It has a beginning, a middle, and then an implicit ending, perhaps. Maybe something that you're like, oh, that's neat, that's a neat thing. But it kind of feels like a cliffhanger, like, oh, I want to watch the next installment of whatever this is, but there isn't another installment, it just ends there. Which you could argue makes it open-ended, but to me, I just want to write a second episode to it, so that would be cool, but I don't know, maybe for one of the other Within Means writing challenges. Also, that brings up another good point. How did I make this Within Means, right? Because it's about being on a film set, and it's about all this stuff that's like, oh, this is really weird. Why are you spending money on 10 monitors? Like, how am I going to get 10 monitors? Or how am I going to get 6 big vending machines? Or how am I going to get this film set? And how am I going to get... so all of this stuff is going to be very suggestive, right? So the 10 monitors isn't actually going to be 10 monitors. It's going to be them alluding to having 10 monitors, and then on set they're watching it on one monitor, because the point of contention there is that the director thinks that the 10 monitors are overkill in the first place and that they'll never end up using them on set. And they don't. They just end up using one to be viewing it, because you can't view your dailies on 10 monitors if it's just 2 people viewing the thing. Well, that doesn't make sense. And the vending machines are suggestive because it's them talking about these budgetary constrictions. And also, the good thing about this is that it is a B-movie set. It is not supposed to be a set that costs thousands of dollars to produce. It's supposed to be a set that looks cheap and bad, and that adds to the overall effect of the film, right? And the actors don't even, like the actors, if I wanted to pick bad actors for it, could just be actual bad actors that are acting in the film within a film that we have that takes place very briefly. But so there's a lot of ways that you can work around budgetary constrictions like that, right? You can be suggestive in the script about alluding to things that you never see on screen, and that can give it the feeling that those things exist somewhere in this universe, right? As long as you show them partially. So they do show one monitor, right? But one monitor is not as hard to get as 10 TVs of the same size and resolution. And they end up showing one vending machine out of the 6 that they talk about purchasing, or maybe they show a bucket of paint out of the thousands of gallons of paint that they talk about. You know, it's stuff like that that will help suggest these ideas without compounding them. Perhaps if there was a huge budget on this, we could expand that out, and that would be cool, but there's no need to do that. It's a waste. And on a film set, in reality, it is a waste to do those things if you don't actually need to do them. So it's good to find areas where you can kind of trim the fat. And maybe people think, oh, you can't do that on a limited budget. You can't do that within means budget, but you can if you figure out how to do it creatively or shoot around specific things. I remember for day 2, all the way back in day 2, like a month ago, there was a film that we had that was just, there was part of it that if we shot around something, we would be able to avoid even having extra props for the limited selection of props that we already had. All right, you know what? I think that's a good place to end it. Let's wrap things up. That's about it for today, honestly. So tune in tomorrow when we have the start of a very, very special, I'm going to get very close to the camera here because this is really special. A very special 5-part series within the 60 and 60 challenge. That's right. Tomorrow, we are going to start the week of ideas from a hat. That's right. Every single day, I'm going to be pulling out an idea from that hat. That's right. Every single day, a new idea for ideas with a hat. It's crazy. That's more magic up my sleeve. You know, I always say, tune in tomorrow where I got more magic up my sleeve. That is magic up my sleeve. 5 parts. Ideas from a hat. Forever. Tune in tomorrow. I'll see you then. Thanks for stopping by. Good night.